All right, let's talk about the Buffalo Bills. EJ, I know you touched on it. I believe it was in your bad.
Right.
Um, a season where things kind of looked lost. And a little past the midway point, they go on a run to end the year. They end up winning the division. They host the Chiefs. Everything's lining up, right? Regardless of where we thought they were going to be preseason, regardless of how we thought the season was going, all of a sudden they right the ship. And they end up in the divisional round. They host the big bad witch. They bring the Chiefs to their town and they still can't finish the job. So EJ, since it was in your bad, where did the Bills go from here? Like, they've kind of come out and said like there's not going to be a rebuild. They're not going to blow anything up. It sounds like McDermott's going to remain there. Josh Allen not going anywhere. Stephon Diggs said he's not going to request a trade.
For now.
For now. So to you, where did the Bills? Where do they go from here?
Well, the only play you really have is those two guys you mentioned, McDermott and Diggs. Like, I think at this point, Diggs is too much of a distraction now, where you can't not consider moving him. You'll get something back for him at this point. Like, I'm not comfortable with also firing coaches because you have to give Derek credit for us. He struggled in the year. He turned things around in a big way. And with a tough schedule too on top of that. Does he come back? Yeah, I'm okay with him to come back. He should be on the hot seat though next year. One of the hottest seats in the league. I think him and Sirianni, probably two coaches with the hottest seat in the league next year.
You can add Mike McCarthy.
And Matt, I saw that, Matt, rolling your eye. Calm down, buddy.
In on the sun.
You got to do something because what they have is not working.
For you, man.
Yeah, what they have is not working right now. I mean, there's a ceiling with what they have right now currently. Okay, so you got to do something. Like the only move I can see that you can make really at this point is maybe moving Diggs for some parts, maybe trip to the draft, get a receiver. I don't know. I mean, obviously Josh Allen is the future of that team. He's a great quarterback, top 5 in the league. But that's the move really is to move Diggs and find pieces of that.
Yeah, I mean to say it's not working. It is. I understand the point. It's a weird statement to make. I sympathize with the statement because, in a way, as you know, 12-5, 12-5, 12-5.
Same thing.
Failure. So I think saying there's a ceiling to it is a better. And you did say both.
I did.
But ceiling is better than it's not working because it is working to a degree. Like the Bills. The Bills are a successful team to a point. The question is what can get them over the top.
Diggs is the only piece you can move that can make sense. I mean, the thing is, so the complaint I had last year coming to the year was that Buffalo didn't get worse, but they didn't get better, and the teams around them were getting better. So they were starting to become a little bit in the pack. Are we going to see the same situation now this year? Houston's better, and obviously now we expect Houston to be even better in the years to come.
You would think.
Cincinnati, Joe Burrow's back healthy next year. The Jets, we'll see Aaron Rodgers healthy next year. Dolphins going to hang around, of course. So the environment around them is getting tougher and tougher and tougher.
He'll recover from the
right. My point is, I think my larger point is the environment in the AFC is on paper going to be tougher. KC this year, a down year. I don't think it'll be down for much longer. I think at some point, I think they'll address the receiver situation in this offseason because they have to.
You know
what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. So you have all these things. Buffalo can't continue doing what they're doing with this core and expect to break through where they're trying to go, which is obviously get to the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
that's my point.
Matt, your thoughts on what do the Bills, where do they go from here to get over that next hump?
So it's not going to be Diggs. He has a dead cap hit of $31 million if he's traded this season 22 the following season. So I don't see the Bills kind of making that type of move the way it plays out. So I think at this point, the only thing that they have to do would be to make any type of change on the coaching staff, whether that's McDermott, bring in a different type of offensive mindset and maybe not a whole new coordinator, but bring in someone who can help develop play calling a little bit better, add to the team in general. But they do need to make some sort of change, I think, because similar to, other teams that are in that type of position, that season of disappointment. You have to make some changes ultimately.
During the game, Kyle Nash, thoughts on the Bills and what their next step should be.
It's not really EJ's fault that I'm making these points, but you've set the table for people that have made a lot of the same statements, EJ.
I blame you.
I don't. No, I don't. I don't, in fact. I blame the Bill Simmonses and the people that he insists on listening to instead of the Student of the Game podcast.
Who's Bill Simmons?
That's cute. Anyways,
Fine, Nick Wright.
Kendrick,
That's better.
Who the hell is this?
example, the Jets. The Jets are getting better, guys. They're a threat. You really think Aaron Charles Rodgers? You really think Aaron Charles Rodgers will make it 17 games healthy behind that offensive line? Granted,
More on that later.
Still has yet to happen. I'd be shocked if he makes it 8 games. I will give the over on 4 snaps, though. Call me optimistic.
wait, hold on. We got to find out if the Jets opening game is on the death turf or if it's an away game. That's going to be a critical piece.
Yes.
To 4 plays or not.
You know what? I'll tell you
By
this.
the way, sidebar on the Jets. Uniform news. The legacy throwback unis they wore when Aaron Rodgers and the Jets season died. Those are now going to be their full timers moving forward. They're going to create a green version of it for all.
Put it this way: these are things that'll improve my take as I win that bet of the over on 4 snaps. Anyway, potential take. I'll be honest. Then you cite the return of one Joe Burrow, EJ Christian. A fair point, except they just lost their OC. You're that quick to trust Zach Taylor? I'm not. There's another threat that I've eliminated. The Texans. Speaking of OCs leaving, their guy is rumored to be getting a head coaching job sooner than later as well. Take that off the table. Expect the sophomore.
Game over, man.
Expect the potential sophomore slump in Houston. The Finns, their main competition. I'll look at their draft, but unless suddenly they decide to erect a defense from the dead, and then EJ laughs because I use the word erect.
I did.
With all that being said, the one thing that I think is the most replicable is the Bills. Their biggest problem has actually been defensive injuries. You can't do that again. No, you can't have a fucking MASH unit on defense and expect to win the Super Bowl. I agree. I know the Packers did it. The one Super Bowl that Aaron Charles Rodgers has, but these are garbage ass points that are just completely incomplete. The Bills' chances of returning to the playoffs is pretty strong because much like Belichick and Brady Patriots, their division is somewhat gilded and not as good as advertised. And they don't have to compete with the Ravens, the Bengals, the Steelers, the Browns, who all beat the hell out of each other. So, yeah, I don't think their window is closed for the playoffs. Now, as far as getting a Super Bowl, you make a ton of great points.
but that's what I'm talking about, though. I never said they were a playoff team. To me, they're probably going to be first in the AFC.
You said week 1 was a must win, and they didn't win it.
But so where they're trying to go at this point, they've. Ooh, that's loud. They went to AFC title game a couple years ago. So the next step is to go in the Super Bowl. So I'm looking at them as a Super Bowl contender. Now it's a playoff has been. We're getting the playoffs at this point is a guarantee for them.
Yeah, I think I think you need to address the wide receiver position outside of Stephon Diggs. Now, don't get me wrong. The basketball hoop catch that was not made in the divisional game this weekend.
Great throw.
I mean,
that was a perfect throw, man. 30, Matt. What was the number? 32 million against the cap next year.
Yeah,
for Diggs, you have to make that catch. You have to. There's you can't not make that catch, right?
Well, that's the dead cap money. He's at his base is still close to that, but the 32 was his.
And that's where I'm bothered too. This guy bitches all the time, not getting the ball, and then we had a chance to turn the game around. Does that shit. So please, do your fucking job.
So yeah, you got to be better in those moments. But I think there needs to be better pieces around him in that receiving core. Because if you only have one receiver, you have no receivers. Let's be honest.
Did you see
CeeDee Lamb had a better year this year because of the emergence of because of Ferguson at tight end, because Brandon Cook started coming on after the first month. It opened up the offense a bit for CeeDee Lamb to do, to get the ball more. because there was actually threats there because Michael Gallup wasn't it, shockingly. So like address those, and I think address the aging and injured pieces. I saw a stat today with
Correct.
and injuries I guess happen, but like the amount of money that the Bills spent on Von Miller, he ended up earning like $3.8 million per tackle because of how little time he actually spent on the field.
Wow.
Like, maybe that wasn't the best deal to make. I get why it was flashy and it sounded good at the time, but hindsight.
I will say this though, Jim. Real quick.
Before it gets lost in the shuffle, hold on. We're throwing around receivers as if they don't have pieces. Did you see some of the catches that the young man Khalil Shakir made in the meantime? He'll be fine. He'll fill that void. And we won't have to talk about his vaccination status with Jim like we did Cole Beasley.
Oh, I mean, Cole Beasley couldn't catch a cold. I mean, he probably caught COVID, but he wouldn't be honest about it anyway.
I will.
But he couldn't catch anything else.
That being said, I'll say the one thing. The one positive they did make in the middle of the year that helped this run late was changing OCs. Having Joe Brady instead of Ken Dorsey. So that, to your point, at least going into next year, should be a positive going forward. Look, they're a playoff team. They're first in the AFC East. Well, I'm looking at them as a Super Bowl team now, not as a playoff team.
Look,
Playoff team.
I don't think there needs to be a major overhaul. Trust me, I understand
Right.
why Bills fans feel like there needs to be one.
Tweak, not rebuild.
Like this team, this team is closer than they think. I mean, let's be honest. You don't run a bad fake punt. Maybe that drive ends up in 3 or 7.
You make it to overtime, and Josh Allen gets a chance to do his job in overtime this time.
Yeah, I mean, that kick, if that kick doesn't go wide, right? And look, we can make jokes about the Bills and their history and the ghost of Norwood looming over that team. Let's also just remember that it was super fucking cold and super fucking windy in that stadium. So it sucks, but it's not like this is a common issue with this version of the Bills. So
Josh Allen had fewer picks than Jim Kelly does in a playoff game.
I get it. The jokes are there, but yeah, the Bills fans, you're going to be fine. You're going to be fine.
Yeah, I agree.